Hello students, but today we are going to discuss the quantitative analysis of organic compounds. That means the estimation of elements in organic compounds. How much percentage of particular elements present in organic compounds can be detected, can be calculated. So this is very much essential for your competitive examination and also for your CBC examination. So try to uh, understand the videos that we are going to discuss. So in the quantitative analysis, we have to determine the percentage of different elements like hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and halogens and phosphorus also. So what are the percentage of elements present in the organic compound can be calculated using a particular methods, particular procedure, and we have to use different formula. So first discuss the estimation of carbon and hydrogen. Estimation of carbon and hydrogen that can be done by Levick's combustion method. The method name is Levick's combustion method. In this method, what happens? The organic compound will be taken in a test tube containing copper oxides. When the organic compound containing copper oxide will be heated strongly, the mixture will be heated strongly, then what happens? The organic compound containing carbon and hydrogen, already we have already know that all organic compounds contain carbon and hydrogen. Generally carbon is the essential element of organic compound. Hydrogen also essential element of organic compounds. So how much percentage of carbon, how much percentage of hydrogen present in organic compound can be calculated by this method. The method is called Levick's combustion method. So when the mixture is heated in presence of copper oxide, then the carbon will be carbon will be converted to carbon dioxide. Carbon will be converted to carbon dioxide and hydrogen will be converted to water. So here copper oxide oxidizes carbon to carbon dioxide and hydrogen to water. So these two things will be produced. Carbon will be converted to carbon dioxide and hydrogen will convert to water. So and here what happens? The carbon dioxide is produced is absorbed by potassium hydroxide, because carbon dioxide is acidic nature. It is absorbed by potassium hydroxides. Similarly, water is absorbed by calcium hydroxides, calcium chloride. Calcium chloride is hygroscopic. It absorbs water, it absorbs moisture. So all water will absorb by calcium chloride and your carbon dioxide absorbed by potassium hydroxide. Before already we have taken the amount of calcium chloride taken and amount of potassium hydroxide solution taken. So then after reaction, after heating, then the substance will be weighed. The weight will be taken. Then finally, how the percentage of carbon and hydrogen is calculated? As the carbon of organic compound is converted to carbon dioxide and hydrogen is converted to water, then we have to know how much amount of water, how much amount of CO2 is produced will be calculated by taking the weight of the substance obtained. Because potassium hydroxide absorb carbon dioxide, so we can know the amount of carbon dioxide absorbed by potassium hydroxide. With the water will absorb by calcium chloride, we can know how much amount of water is absorbed. So what happens here? The fixed amount of organic compound will be taken. So the percentage of carbon in the organic compound will be as the carbon dioxide contain 12 gram carbon and 32 gram oxygen, and total weight is 44 gram. Molar mass is 44 gram. So 44 gram contain 12 gram carbon. As per the formula, 44 gram contain 12 gram carbon. So the formula will percentage of carbon in organic compound, that 12 is the amount of carbon in generally in CO2. So 12 then into mass of CO2 produced. Already after the heating we have to calculate how much the CO2 is absorbed by potassium hydroxide. Then the amount of CO2 absorbed will be calculated. Then into 100, because percentage we have to multiply 100. Then in the denominator we have to divide the mass of organic compound taken, because the carbon dioxide produced from organic compound. So what is the mass of organic compound taken, and 44 will be multiplied, that will be the molar mass of CO2, because 44 contain 12. So 1 gram will be 12 by 44. So 12 by 44, then amount of organic compound taken, then it will be multiplied by mass of CO2. So 12 into mass of carbon dioxide produced into 100 by mass of organic compound into 44. This is the formula of, this is the percentage of carbon present in organic compound. Similarly, the percent of hydrogen in organic compound, as the hydrogen is converted to water in the organic compound by this method. So same, water formula is H2O. So water contains 2 gram hydrogen and from 18 gram water. So 18 gram water contains 2 gram hydrogen. So the formula will be 2 into mass of water produced absorbed by calcium chloride into 100 by mass of organic compound into 18. 18 is the molar mass of water. So very simple formula. Always use mass of hydrogen present in the organic compound will be 2 into mass of water produced into 100, as 100 is multiplied into convert in percentage, then mass of organic compound into 18. So these two method is very important common method to calculate the percentage of carbon and hydrogen present in organic compound. So you have to know the weight of water produced and the weight of CO2 produced during these methods. Then second step is estimation of halogen in organic compound. We know halogens are generally chlorine, bromine and iodine, because fluorine is very reactive. Generally fluorine cannot be considered in this method, so it is studied separately. So generally chlorine, bromine, iodine can be estimated, can be calculated by common method, that is called Carius method. The method name is Carius method. Same method, in this method the whole organic compound will be taken in the test tube, that is Carius tube, it is called Carius tube. Then the concentrated nitric acid will be added, then followed by silver nitrate solution. So in the test tube, first you will take organic compounds, then you add concentrated nitric acid, then followed by silver nitrate, AgNO3. Then what happens during heating, during the reaction, this organic compound containing halogen will be converted to silver halides. Silver halide means silver chloride, that is AgX. Silver chloride, silver bromide and silver iodide will be formed. If the organic compound is for a particular common organic compound, if either chlorine, so it is converted to AgCl, bromine AgBr, iodine AgI will be formed. Then how can you estimate the percentage of chlorine? As after getting the amount of silver halide produced after the reaction, then the substance, the percentage of halogen can be easily calculated. Same formula like previous, that as suppose example silver chloride is produced, chlorine is 35.5 and silver chloride formula is molar mass is 143.5. How 145? Because 108 plus 35.5. Total is how much? 143.5. So 143.5 contain how much? 35.5 gram chlorine. So in this formula, same formula like previous, 35.5 into mass of AgCl produced during the reaction, during the process, into 100 as the same formula, by divided by your mass of organic compound into 143.5. 143.5 is the molar mass of AgCl. AgCl is molar mass is 143.5 will be divided. So this is the step to calculate the percentage of chlorine in the organic compound. If organic compound contain chlorine, this is the formula. If organic compound contain bromine, then the compound will form AgBr. The compound will be AgBr. AgBr will be produced. That AgBr molar mass is 188. The molar mass is 188 and bromine molar mass is, bromine Br is 80. So 188 contain 80 gram bromine. So same formula, 120, that is 80. 80 is the that is the mass of, that is atomic mass of bromine. Then mass of AgBr produced, then into 100, then mass of organic compound into 188. This is the very common formula. Don't forget it formula. If you remember the formula, then easily you can calculate the problem by putting the data directly in the formula. Mass of percentage, that is bromine, the percentage of bromine, the formula is 80 into mass of AgBr produced into 100 upon mass of organic compound into 188. This value you have to remember. This value you have to remember, the molar mass of substance produced. So this is the formula of percentage of bromine. Similarly, percentage of iodine, same formula. Iodine produced as AgI, silver iodide. Silver iodide color is yellow. Silver bromide is called pale yellow. Silver chloride is white color. From that also we can know that already we have discussed the detection of elements. Now we are discussing the percentage of elements. So same, iodine molar mass is 127, but AgI molar mass is 235. So 235 contain 127 iodine. So the formula same, 127 into mass of AgI in 200 into mass of organic compound into 230. You have to remember this mass. Sometimes in the question, the molar mass of the compound will not be given. You have to remember 235 is the molar mass of AgI and 188, that is your molar mass of AgBr, and 143.5, that is the molar mass of AgCl. You have to remember this thing. So this is about the estimation of halogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Next part is we will discuss the estimation of sulfur. Same, the organic compound containing sulfur will be digested, will be heated in presence of concentrated nitric acid, because concentrated nitric is a very important reagent which oxidizes, which decomposes the organic compound into corresponding compounds of elements that it contains. So as it contains sulfur, then what happens? Sulfur, if organic compound sulfur, then nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes sulfur to sulfuric acid. It oxidizes sulfur to sulfuric acid. Then what happens? This sulfuric acid, when you add the same time barium chloride solution, very important, already we have discussed earlier that detection of elements, the sulfate, the detection of sulfate is barium chloride solution. When you add barium chloride solution, then barium sulfate, white precipitate of barium sulfate is solid mass is produced. So the mixed organic compound will be mixed with concentrated nitric acid, then when it will be heated, then the substance will convert to sulfuric acid, sulfur converts sulfuric acid. When you add the barium chloride, excess barium chloride solution, then what happens? It is converted to barium sulfate solution. Then the barium sulfate produced will be separated, then it will be dried and weighed. That white barium sulfate is produced. Barium sulfate that produce, it is white color. That white color barium sulfate produced will be separated, dried and weight will be taken. Same formula as barium sulfate contain, that barium sulfate molar mass is 233, you have to remember, and barium sulfate sulfur contain 32. Okay, so 233 contain 32 gram of sulfur. So same formula, 32 into mass of barium sulfate, white barium sulfate produced mass will be calculated into 100, then mass of organic compound into 233. That is very important. The molar mass of barium sulfate is 233. Then we will calculate the percentage of sulfur present in the organic compound. Okay, then next is, that is estimation of phosphorus. Same reagent. You will take the organic compound in a test tube, then concentrated nitric acid will be taken, then it will be heated. When you heat the mixture in presence of nitric acid, then phosphorus will convert to phosphoric acid, because phosphorus generally convert to phosphoric acid by nitric acid. This reaction already know. Nitric acid is a strong oxidizing acid. It oxidizes phosphorus to phosphoric acid, sulfur to sulfuric acid. So what happens? That phosphoric acid produced when you add ammonium molybdate solution. Ammonium molybdate solution, when it added to the solution, to the mixture, then the phosphoric acid present in the mixture after heating will be converted to ammonium phosphomolybdate. It will be converted to ammonium phosphomolybdate, which color is yellow color. That solid ammonium phosphomolybdate produced will be separated out, then taken, then dried and taken wet. After filtration the solution, then the solid yellow mass ammonium phosphomolybdate produced will be dried and taken wet. Then same formula. The molar mass of ammonium phosphomolybdate is, molar mass is 1887 is the very important, try to remember, because in the question the mass may not be given. So molar mass of that ammonium phosphomolybdate, yellow color ammonium phosphomolybdate is 1887. So same formula as the ammonium phosphomolybdate contain phosphorus is 32 grams. As per the formula, only 32 gram contain this. Which one? 1887 only contain 32 grams. So what happens? So 31 grams, by mistake I have told, that is 31 grams. So because the atomic mass of phosphorus is 31, so 31 into mass of ammonium phosphomolybdate produce into 100, then mass of organic compound into molar mass, that is 1887. 1887 will be divided. Always this formula is same, only you have to remember the data. Okay, so this is the percentage of phosphorus present in the organic compound. So always the same formula, the mass, atomic mass of the elements, then the mass produced, amount of main mass, important mass produced into 100, then mass of organic compound, then molar mass. So this formula, common formula, try to remember. Okay, so this is the estimation of phosphorus. Then next is estimation of nitrogen. Nitrogen can be estimated, can be calculated by two methods. One is Dumas method. In this method, what happens? Organic compound will be taken in a tube, in a test tube. Then in presence of copper oxide, it will be heated. Already we have discussed already, copper oxide oxidizes carbon to carbon dioxide, then hydrogen to water, then nitrogen will be reaction with the copper oxide, then copper will produce. So if the organic compound contain nitrogen, then nitrogen gas will be produced. Carbon dioxide will absorb by potassium hydroxide and water will absorb by calcium chloride. Already we have discussed. So remaining gas is nitrogen. So after absorption of CO2 and water, then only gas remains N2. So you have to calculate the how much volume of nitrogen produced at this experiment. So let the calculation is like this. Let the volume of nitrogen collected in the experiment is V1 ml. Already you know, when the volume of gas will be converted to NTP, then we can convert the volume to mass. So the volume of nitrogen, that V1 ml, what will be the volume at NTP? The formula is P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. This formula. Here P2 is 760, that is pressure, atmosphere pressure. Then T1 is how much? 273. So this formula when you use, then let the volume of nitrogen collected at NTP is, let after this calculation is VML. Same formula, P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. P1 is already that pressure at that experiment, that laboratory experiment. In the laboratory if you are doing, then what is the pressure from the barometer, what is the temperature at this condition, you will calculate. Then how much volume of nitrogen collected, you also you have to note down. Then put this formula in the equation, combined gas equation, then we will convert the volume of nitrogen at NTP. But if the aqueous tension is given, always deduct atmosphere pressure from aqueous tension. This is the very common formula, already we have discussed in the gaseous state. When any pressure will be calculated, you have to take in dry condition, pressure of gas in dry stage. So atmosphere pressure minus aqueous tension, that pressure will be given. Always you deduct aqueous tension if in the question it will be given. If the data is given, don't forget to deduct. If is not given, same pressure you will take. Then after conversion, the volume of nitrogen at NTP, then you calculate the mass. We know that nitrogen is N2, molar mass is 28. So 28 generally that is 22,400 ml is equal to 28 gram. This is the formula, you know the mole concept. 22,400 ml of gas, of nitrogen gas at NTP is equal to 28 gram because the molar mass. Then 1 gram will be 28 by this volume, molar volume, that this much 22,400, this formula. So this is the mass of 1 ml. Then as per the calculation, what is the volume? VML. This is the volume of what? Volume of gas at NTP. Then you have to multiply. For 1 ml mass is 28 by 22,400. Then what is the mass of VML? VML is the volume of nitrogen at NTP. So V is multiplied. So this formula is 28 upon 22,400 into V. V is the volume of nitrogen collected after converting into NTP. Then so what is the percent of nitrogen? So 28 into V into 1000, then 22,400 is the molar volume, then mass of organic compound taken. So this is the common formula, same formula, only data will be changed. So 28 into V, what is 28? Molar mass of nitrogen. What is V? Volume of nitrogen collected at NTP into 100, because at we are calculating percentage, then upon 22,400, this is the molar volume at NTP into mass of organic compound. So this formula always try to remember. So this is the estimation of nitrogen Dumas method. Then estimation of nitrogen Zelda method. This is very important method, that is some different way, different methods. The procedure is different. In this Zelda method, what happens? The nitrogen will be converted to ammonia. Then the ammonia will react with sulfuric acid, forming ammonium sulfate. So you see what are the reaction. When organic compound will be heated in presence of sulfuric acid, then nitrogen present will be converted to ammonium sulfate. The organic compound, it will convert to ammonium sulfate. Then when it heated with sodium hydroxide, then it produce ammonia gas. It produces ammonia gas. That ammonia gas reacts with sulfuric acid, convert to ammonium sulfate. So ultimately ammonia gas produced from the organic compound again convert to ammonium sulfate. So how can we calculate the percentage of nitrogen in the organic compound in this method? Let the procedure is like this. Let the mass of organic compound taken is m gram. M gram is the mass of organic compound. Then volume of sulfuric acid, we have to use a fixed volume of sulfuric acid and having particular concentration. Let the concentration is molarity, then volume is taken is VML. So VML of 1m sulfuric acid is taken during the experiment. So VML is the volume of sulfuric is taken. So during the reaction what happens? So how much volume of sulfuric acid reacts? But the volume of sodium hydroxide taken, suppose V1 ml. How can you calculate this volume of sodium hydroxide used by titration with excess sulfuric acid? That sulfuric acid we will take during the experiment. It will be titrated, it will be estimated how much volume, what is the concentration. As the concentration is taken already m molar concentration, then how much volume of sulfuric acid is taken as the during the reaction. So volume of sodium hydroxide used for titration of excess sodium sulfuric acid is V1 ml. So V1 ml is the volume of sodium hydroxide used to titrate the sulfuric acid taken during the experiment. So this is the V1 ml. V1 ml is the volume of sodium hydroxide. But already we have taken the volume of sulfuric acid VML. But now the volume of sodium hydroxide used during the titration of NaOH and sulfuric acid is V1 ml. So at the calculation V1 is the volume of sodium hydroxide used, then what will the volume of sulfuric acid for the reaction? V1 by 2, because the sulfuric acid is a dibasic but sodium hydroxide is monoacidic. So if the concentration is same, so automatically the volume of sulfuric acid will be half of the volume used for sodium hydroxide. That much of volume of sodium hydroxide used, the volume of sulfuric acid will be just half, because sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide, if you consider the basicity, it will be 2. So n factor is 2. That's why V1 by 2 ml of sulfuric acid will be used. If sodium hydroxide volume is V1 ml, then the volume of sulfuric acid will be V1 by 2 ml, because it is dibasic. So volume of sulfuric acid unused, already we have taken VML, now it is used V1 by 2. So unused how much? V minus how much? V minus V1 by 2. V is the volume of sulfuric initially taken. Now V1 by 2 is the volume of sulfuric is consumed during the reaction. Then how much volume of sulfuric acid unused? That is V minus V1 by 2 ml. So you have to remember this formula. Then we have to convert the what? Nitrogen. So V minus V1 ml of sulfuric acid is equivalent to how much volume of ammonia? You see the relation. The relation shows ammonia and sulfuric acid just twice. Ammonia, 2 times of ammonia is equivalent to 1 mole of sulfuric acid. 2 moles of ammonia is equivalent to 1 mole of sulfuric acid. So the volume of sulfuric is equivalent to 2, that is equal to 2 times of volume of ammonia. That volume of sulfuric acid will be used. That is, you see, volume of sulfuric acid unused is V minus V1 by 2, and this unused sulfuric acid equal to 2 into V minus V1 of ammonia solution of molarity M. That ammonia solution produce its volume will be twice. So already you know that 1000 ml of 1F ammonia is equal to 17 gram ammonia, because ammonia is NH3, mass is 14 plus 3, that is 17, which is equal to 14 gram nitrogen, because NH3 contain 1 nitrogen, that is 14. So 2 into ammonia is equal to how much? 2 into V minus V1 and 2 ammonia will be mass how much? So nitrogen how much? 14 into M is the molarity, it depends upon molarity, into 2, this much upon 1000, because 1000 1 m ammonia is equal to 14 gram nitrogen. So 2 into V minus V1 by 2 ml of ammonia will be how much? Same, 14 into m into 2 into this much by 1000. So this is the mass of ammonia. But we know this is the 2 into ammonia or molarity, m content this much of nitrogen. This is for nitrogen. This is for nitrogen. Then what is the percent of nitrogen? We use the formula. Same, 14 into m into 2 this much, like this much of nitrogen in 200 upon mass of organic compound, that already 1000 divided. So same formula remain. If you calculate it in a simpler way, then it will be 14 point, this formula, that 100 and 1000 it will become 10. So 14 by 10 is 1.4. So 1.4 into m molarity into 2 into V minus V1 by 2 into m. You see the formula 1.4, this is the common factor, and m is the also one common factor. M if change, the value will be changed. 2 into V minus V1 by 2 usually remains same. V is the volume of sulfur is taken, and V1 by 2 is V1. V1 is the volume of sodium hydroxide is taken. So this formula is very important. So you have to remember. So this is the percentage of nitrogen present in the organic compound. And this formula that this small m, this is the formula that is small m. This is the small m. Small m is the mass of organic compound, and capital M is the molarity. So this is about the calculation of what? Percentage of nitrogen present in organic compound by Zelda method. Then last one, that is estimation of oxygen. We know oxygen is also part of organic compound. How much oxygen present in the organic compound, how can you calculate? Here the method that is called Alois methods. In this method what happens? Organic compound will hit in presence of nitrogen atmosphere and a red hot coke. Then what happens? The organic compound reacts with carbon, then convert to carbon monoxide, because if organic compound contain carbon, then contain oxygen, then oxygen will be converted to carbon monoxide, because we have taken a red hot coke, then it will be converted to carbon monoxide. Then carbon monoxide, when reacts with I2O5, iodine pentoxide, then convert to carbon dioxide and iodine. It will be converted to carbon monoxide will convert to carbon dioxide and iodine. Then what happens? Then you see the formula. Carbon will be converted to first step is carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. Then carbon monoxide is converted to carbon dioxide. Then iodine will be formed. Then you see the percent. Then if you see the equation, then the amount of oxygen produced is 32 O2. CO2, if you see CO2 contain 32 gram oxygen. So 32 grams oxygen, then mass of carbon dioxide produced during the reaction in 200, then molar mass of carbon dioxide, then mass of organic compound. Same formula. So the amount of CO2 produced after the reaction, then we can calculate the percentage of oxygen present in the organic. If you take the percent, because carbon we are using during the, you are using red hot carbon, so percent of carbon is not required to calculate, but percent of oxygen will calculate. Oxygen already present in the organic compound, which is converted to carbon dioxide by heating with coke and presence of I2O5. So CO2 contain 32 gram oxygen. So the formula is 32 into mass of CO2 produced. Always we have to use same formula. Then 100 into 100 by the molar mass of CO2, because we are comparing with CO2 means we have to take the molar mass of CO2, then mass of organic compound. So this is the formula, very important formula for the calculation of oxygen, percent of oxygen in organic compound. So today we discussed that how to calculate the percentage of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, halogen like chlorine, bromine, iodine and phosphorus, and nitrogen estimation in two methods, that is Dumas method and Zelda method. Dumas method only used for the by taking the calculation that volume of nitrogen produced, and but in Zelda method we have to calculate the how much volume of sulfuric acid we have taken, then how much of sulfuric acid is unused, then we will calculate the amount of ammonia is produced and how the ammonia produced contain how much of nitrogen. So ultimately you will calculate the percent of nitrogen present in the organic compound. So try to practice it, and next class, in the coming video, we will discuss the different numericals related to estimation of organic compounds. Okay, if you like this video, please share the video to your friends, and if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel, and any doubt you have, please send your doubts, send your comments in the comment box. Okay, thank you all.